The biggest question in everyone's minds ahead of the 2022 Formula 1 season is, who will be on top? And at the moment, it seems that the second question that most people have is, will it be Mercedes or Red Bull that have the upper hand? However, there is a different question that these people should be asking, and of course that question is, will a different team rise from the ashes and dominate in 2022? And I'm here to say that yes, that could definitely happen. But why do I say this? And who do I think it could be? Well, I think this could be Ferrari. If there is a team other than Red Bull and Mercedes to win and potentially dominate in 2022 with the new regulation change, I have no doubt that this would be the Scuderia. And while it's a nice thought that a team like McLaren or Alpine could once again be at the front challenging for wins, I just don't see them having the cash or resources at this stage, even with the budget cap, unlike Ferrari. Why else do I think this? Well, just look back to as recently as 2019. With the championship battle being between Mercedes and Red Bull for the last 2 years, it's easy to forget that in 2019 it was Ferrari who was challenging Mercedes for wins, and not always Red Bull. In 2019, Ferrari put a driver on the podium for 19 out of the 21 races that year, while winning 3 races in a row: Belgium, Italy and Singapore. Then probably, as you remember, someone from the FIA decided to question the legality of that Ferrari engine, and then the team suffered one of the worst performance drops in their history. Their fall from 2019 to 2020 was not the absolute worst performance drop in the history of the team, 1979 to 1980, I'm looking at you, but it was still pretty terrible. They suffered 6 race retirements in 2020, whereas in 2021 they only had 1 DNF all season, if we aren't counting the DNS that Leclerc had in Monaco. And as for that 1 DNF, it wasn't exactly Charles Leclerc's fault for being taken out by Lance Stroll in Hungary. Another reason why I am so confident in Ferrari's return to the very front of the field in 2022 is how quickly they recovered from the absolute lows they suffered in 2020. They managed to find pace so quickly. Right at the end of the 2017 to 2021 era of cars, you'd think it would be difficult to extract more pace, but Ferrari managed to do it. I also think that Ferrari probably have the strongest driver lineup on the grid in Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Unless George Russell challenges Lewis Hamilton for wins frequently, I really do think that Ferrari's driver pairing is stronger than the Mercedes one. The strength of Ferrari's driver lineup really stood out in 2021 with their consistency and how close Sainz and Leclerc seemed to be in points. Consider this. At the end of 2021, there was a 45-point gap between Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo at McLaren, a 161-point gap between Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, a 205-point gap between Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, but what about the Ferrari drivers? 5.5 points. Only 5.5. As I said, this just shows how consistent both drivers were throughout the season. We also have to remember that Ferrari had a clear objective in 2021, to regain their respectability after the disaster of a year they had in 2020. However, they switched focus to 2022 sooner than both Mercedes and Red Bull, who were both engaged in a fierce championship battle, which surely took some focus away from the new 2022 cars. Red Bull do look strong after 2022 testing in Bahrain, but let's face it, all the teams are probably sandbagging, and maybe Red Bull have done less to hide their cars than the other teams, especially with that side pod upgrade they got. Who knows? Maybe I'm being a bit too optimistic about Ferrari. I just want them to be at the front again. They haven't won a race since Singapore 2019, and I think that this dry period of theirs is about to end. What do you guys think about Ferrari's chances in 2022? Will they be winning again? Let me know down in the comments. And please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed the video. See you again soon.